Okay, this is homework exercise solution number 7. Is we have some names. This is a list of first and last names. It could work on any first and last names. Write a function that takes in a list of some names, these or any other names, and separates the full name into first and last names, assigns each person a username per the rules described below, assigns each person a password per the rules described below, stores the resulting data in a dictionary, one for each person, accumulates the dictionaries in a new list, and returns the new list of dictionaries. And each user's dictionaries have the following 4 keys: F name with the first name, L name with the last name, the user is another key, the value of which is a username, composed of the first name to lowercase, plus the first letter of the last name to uppercase, plus a number, which is the sum of the lengths of the 2 names. Then we're going to do a password, which is another key. And the password value is going to be composed of the first name backwards with backwards capitalization. So the last letter capitalized after you write the name backwards, plus a special character according to the following rules: an ampersand if the 2 names are equal length and start with the same letter. So Andrew Atkins, equal length, starts with the same letter, right? They're both 6 letters long, both start with A. So that would get an ampersand in the password. Percent sign if the names are equal length but do not start with the same letter. I don't have any example of that. Well, we could. Here, Danny Jones, equal length, do not start with the same letter. Dollar sign if the names start with the same letter but are not equal length. Benjamin Betts, start with same letter, not equal length. Pound sign if the names are different lengths and start with different letters. That would be Cy Lewis, different length, different letters. And we're not done. Then a number based on the following rules if the first name length. All right, so if the first name length is less than or equal to last name length, in the case of Andrew Atkins, right, Andrew is less than or equal to last name, right? It's the same, so it's equal to. The number is a square of the length of the first name. So the first name is 6. The number would be 6 times 6, 36. If the first name is longer than the last name, as in the case of, say, Benjamin Betts, the number that you add on at the end of the password is a square of the difference in name length. So the difference in name length, that's an 8, that's a 5. The difference is 3. You square it to get a 9. So it's a lot of rules you have to follow and a lot of logic you have to think through. I think that's a good exercise, though, because some coding prompts and challenges in the workplace or in job interviews or what have you, they're very long. I mean, sometimes it takes longer to read the instructions and actually do the problem. Part of the challenge in programming is, can you understand detailed challenges with lots of conditions and terms and, convert all that into a logical algorithm and then convert that rather complicated algorithm into code. Okay, so this may seem extra fussy and long, but it's not out of bounds with what you could be facing as a programmer in terms of complexity and conditions and so on. So let's get coding. We're going to write a function. I'm going to just do it up here. We'll put it down here, right below the expected output. So anyway, here's some expected output, right? It's going to have the first name and last name, split those names up. The username is going to be the first name to lowercase, plus the first letter of the last name to uppercase, plus the sum of the length of the 2 names, which is 12, right? Andrew Atkins. The password is going to be the last name backwards with backwards capitalization, plus the symbol based on the rules, plus the number based on the rules. So we're going to have a list of dictionaries. A list of dictionaries is what we're going to start with. And that actually we're going to put inside the function. So let's define the function. We're going to say, the function will be called assign usernames and passwords. It's a little long, but it's descriptive. And that's going to be names list. It's really full names list, right? But that's fine. Names list. It's going to be first and last names. And the list of dictionaries is going to store the final result, a list of dictionaries. Then we're going to loop the names list. We're going to say for full name in names list. And what are we going to do every time through the names list to the current full name? We're going to make a new dictionary to store our key value pairs. We're going to make a names, for full name and names list. The names are going to be the, let's just call this names. And the names list, this is first and last name list. It's like first and last names list, but that's too long. So we're just going to say names list. So the names list is going to equal the full name dot split. And then the first name is going to equal the very first item in the names list. And the last name is going to equal the second and final item in the names list. Say first name to var, and we want to save the last name to a var. We need them for later when we're doing all this stuff to come up with the password and the username. Make list of 2 items from name, right? Of first and last name from full name. That's a new dictionary to hold our 4 key value pair, our 4 properties, right? Which are going to be F name, L name, user, and password. Right? These are full names. Yeah. That's like a full names list. Maybe we can just say that. And that's going to give you a full name, which I guess we could hyphenate. And F name, we could not hyphenate, underscore, but let's not. And that is going to be names list, full names list versus names list. That's F and L names. So this is one name. That's a bunch of names, right? So maybe we should print this as we just print this once so we can see. We're getting confused. So you got all these names of lists and stuff, right? Let's run it. Oh, you got to call the function. Okay. So we're going to assign, we'll call the function, and we're going to pass in the provided list. There you go. So now we're going to assign L name to as property of diction. So we're going to say diction F name equals the F name that we just came up with through our splitting and assignment. And we could tuck that down and to make that 1. And then we need last name, assign, that's F name, L name. And now for the user, assign username, user key value pair, right? So the key is user and the value is, there's all these rules to come up with the value. Value follows set of rules above, right? I mean, up here, how to do the username. So the username is going to start out, well, we're just going to directly assign it. We're going to say diction user. So that property is going to equal a string, which we can concatenate, consisting of F name to lowercase, followed by the L name, 0, the first letter of the last name, to uppercase, followed by the sum of the lengths of the 2 strings. And that cooks up the username. And now we're going to assign password key value pair as described above. So we're going to start out by, we're going to just get the password string and then assign it because it's a lot of steps. The password is going to begin as the first name backwards. And the trick here is this little syntax. So the double set of colons indicates you're going, and the -1 that you're going backwards 1 item at a time. All right. It's kind of complicated. So that's your start and end index with -1, meaning you're stepping backwards 1 item at a time, starting from the end, going toward the beginning. That. Then we're going to concat the special char per the rules. There's 4 possibilities. So we're going to say if the len of the F name, the first name's length, equals the length of the last name, and the first letter of the first name equals the first letter of the last name, Andrew Atkins, then where the password is going to be plus equals an ampersand. Elif, the len of the F name equals the len of the L name, but they don't start with the same letter, because that turned out to be false. But this first part's true. Then the password is going to tack on the %. So that would be Danny Jones. Elif, the first letters are the same, but the lengths are different. Then the password is going to tack on the $, Benjamin Betts. Else, the first letters are different and the lengths are different. Then your password is going to tack on the hashtag. That would be like Cy Lewis, right? And then you got to concatenate the number onto the password. So for that, the rules are if the length of the first name is less than or equal to the length of the last name, Andrew Atkins, then the number you tack on is going to equal the sum of the strings. And so you got to use a string, you got to wrap it all in the string method. We say string length of the F name squared, right? That's a number, but you're concatenating, so you got to turn it into a string. Else, that's not true. So the first name is not shorter than the last name. It's not equal to something like Benjamin Betts. F name is longer than last name. Then the password number to tack on is going to be the length of the first name minus the length of the last name squared. And that whole thing is wrapped in the string method. Now that we've concatenated the password, assign the password key to the dictionary. So it's going to be diction password equals the password. When loop is all done, append it to list. So the list of dictionaries dot append the current dictionary that just got made. And then you can call the function. Done with the function. Okay. First names anymore? Oh, none. Whoa. Okay. What's going on here? Oh, it needs to append inside the loop. Every time through the loop, you need to append. Okay. That's why. Oh, you got to return. You got to return your list of dictionaries. The function doesn't return anything. So of course you get nothing. And there we go. Here it is. We get Andrew812 for the username. That matches. All right. That concludes number 7. Okay. That's it for the homework review. Bye-bye. See you in class.